friends, and welcome back to Beloved Reviews. If you're new here on this channel, I share with you delightful, family-friendly, and faith-based movies and television shows. Y'all, welcome back to the channel. Get somewhere, get cozy, get comfortable, okay? Because we got a lot to talk about today. But before we get into everything, y'all let me know how y'all doing in the comment section below. What are you up to? What are you watching? What are you streaming? How was y'all weekend, by the way? And have y'all been to the theater lately? Okay, all of that good stuff, drop it down below. But as for me, I am so excited to be spending this time with y'all. The weekend flew by extremely fast. I asked for your forgiveness that you all didn't get any videos last weekend. But it's all right. It's all right. We're making up for that right now, okay? It's been so busy. It's been so busy. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started with our special feature today, which is titled Murder, She Baked, a Peach Cobbler Mystery. Now, you can find this film streaming right now on Hallmark Plus, but first, let me tell y'all what this film is about. It was seen Baker Hannah Swensen is a prime suspect. After her rival is murdered, she now has the difficult task of clearing her name. And I can't help but laugh at this, y'all. Y'all know for the past 2 films, Hannah can just not stay herself out of trouble. Stumbling into bodies, okay? We ain't never seen nobody find a body like Hannah finds a body, all right? And this film, it just ups it a notch. It really does, because now they looking at Hannah like she a suspect, and I'm like, no, y'all didn't. Not my girl Hannah, not my sister Hannah. Okay, what you talking about? Okay, Mike, I know you're a detective and everything like that, but we gonna have to get something straight here, all right? You is not finna have that department accusing my sister Hannah or anything. I know she get into things, okay, but that's what we do, okay? That's what we do. You know that Hannah is innocent. She is innocent now, okay? But yeah, y'all, I had such an amazing time with this film, okay? So y'all know Hannah is a baker, okay? She's a baker. Simply put, she is a baker. And we gonna let it be known that that's all it is, all right? Even though we know secretly she is an undercover detective, yes, working alongside Mike, even though he does not want her on his little private little squad here, because technically she's that's not what she is. But come on now, Mike, we gotta be real here. Hannah be keeping you up, all right? She be keeping you up on game. She be finding out stuff before you even find out. And it is very clear, even right here in this film. Y'all forgive the background noise. Some things I just cannot have no control over. But anyways, okay, so anyways, this film starts out, we are around Valentine's Day. Y'all remember the last one? I think it was around Christmas. So here we are around Valentine's Day, okay? Yes, it should be love. It should be cuddles, snuggles, sweethearts, and all those pretty cute things. But not in Eden Lake. Not with Hannah. Not with this baker here. So Hannah's putting up her decorations, and she's not thinking nothing about anything. She's working on her baked goods and all these types of things. But lo and behold, y'all, let me tell y'all what happened here. Right across the street, she has a little bit of competition. For the longest, Hannah has been the only one with her own, everybody's know of her bakery, the cookie jar bakery cafe thing. She's been like the only one. She hasn't really had known competition. It might have been some things, probably like some little mom and pops in the crack somewhere that we don't know about. But here, Magnolia Bakery pops up, and this is like a chic, a classy little bakery. I mean, it was cute and everything. I had to give it to, what's her name? Melanie. Yes, Melanie is the owner of this bakery right across the street from Hannah. So you got some nerve, Melanie, okay? Not only do you want to pull up in Eden Lake town, you could have been anywhere. You could have been on the other side of Eden Lake, down the street, around the corner, but right across the street, you wanted to make it known that this is going to be a bakery battle here. You want to make it known that, Hannah, you got some competition here. You going to know that I am here. So I give it to you, Melanie. I really do. We know you here, girl, okay? And so this is kind of putting a little bit of a damper here in Hannah's like customers and stuff. Like, she's not getting as much business with this other bakery right across the street. And like I said, it's more chic. It's more like classier in a sense of what somebody may call classier, because it has like these cushioned seats and it's all pink and pretty and all of these types of things. It's really, really cute. I have to give it to Melanie. It's really, really cute. But I'm faithful. I roll with my girl Hannah, because Hannah's is more like down to earth. It's cozy. It's cozy as family. Like, that's what you get when you walk into the Cookie Jar Cafe, bakery and cafe here with Hannah. It is more like, yeah, it's more family. You get that. Like, you can hang out with your family here, and that's what it gives. And you feel like you more getting like a home cooked meal here with Hannah's. But the other one, you feel like, girl, I don't want to sit down anywhere. What if I mess up something? What if I break something? It's just too cute. It's too fine here. That's what you get at Melanie's Bakery. And then on top of that, so Melanie got that going on, but she also has a bit of a history with Detective Kingston. And y'all know, right, that Detective Kingston has been having his eye on Hannah for the longest, and Hannah been having her eye on him too. But it's been a little bit of a love triangle here that nobody's willing to make a move, in a sense. I mean, we're getting a little bit closer to somebody making a move, but nobody really made a move like that, because we got Hannah can't seem to decide between Detective Kingston and Norman, the dentist. So I already told y'all the last video what I think that will probably work a little bit more with her. I feel like she kind of feels the same way, but in a sense, it's like Detective Kingston is a little bit of, he's unpredictable because of his job. And it shows here that his job is everything, which is fine, because Hannah's job at her bakery is everything, on top of her being nosy and being all up in detective work as well. But so Norman is a little, and Hannah has admitted that Norman is a bit predictable, which works in a lot of ways, because at least you know what you're getting. It won't necessarily be any surprises and stuff like that. So that kind of does work, and it shows even in this episode that it worked. When this movie feels like episodes in a sense, but it is a movie. But it shows even here that it works for Hannah, the way that predictability with Norman, because she can rely on him a little bit more. And Norman ups a notch here in this film, because he shows Hannah that, yes, even though I'm predictable, I can hang with the best of them. I can do this detective thing as well with you. I can do this detective thing with you as well. Like, he's not stopping her. The thing with Detective Kingston here, he's always putting a stop to Hannah's shenanigans. And even when she's like going off the railroad here, he always puts a stop to it, rightfully, because to protect her, because she's not a cop, she's not on the force. So it does make sense. But that's why Norman takes a little bit of advantage here, because he knows seems to be Hannah's world. She's gonna do what she's gonna do, and he's showing her, okay, I can play alongside with you with this. If you want to, as far as you want to go with trying to figure out these mysteries, I am right here with you. Whatever you need, whatever you want, I'm right here. And Hannah has this look on her face when he kind of does lay it out for her, like, wow, okay. So you can see her leaning more towards Norman in that way. So Detective Mike, I'm gonna have to say, Detective Kingston, I'm gonna have to say here, you're gonna have to up it a notch now. Norman seems to be saying, okay, I see what you're doing, Kingston, but I'm in it to win it, okay? A dentist can play alongside you. I can hang with the best of you, even though I'm a dentist. So yes, we got the whole love triangle going on there. So anyways, so now that Hannah has a little bit of competition with this bakery thing, you would think that that would keep her eyes off of what's going on with finding bodies and all these types of things that she don't have no business in. But like I said, it seems like this stuff just like finds Hannah, because it's supposed to be something simple. The mayor is having a wedding for a family member here, and Hannah's been invited to bring some of her baked goods, but also the mayor's wife, unbeknownst to him, has invited Melanie to bring like her peach cobbler. And even though Hannah doesn't serve peach cobbler, she's like, okay, let me see if I can do this, since everybody is raving about her peach cobbler. Let me see if I can actually make a peach cobbler. And so she does this, y'all, make a home-baked peach cobbler, and kind of like hides her name so people, they make it fair. like, I think it's blue and red plastic plates that she serves to like her mom, family, and friends here, including Detective Kingston, Norman, and all of them, so they can judge and see who has the best peach cobbler. And Hannah does win, rightfully so. Y'all know I always team Hannah over here, so she does win. However, Hannah does find something a bit interesting. Yes, y'all know it's always a mystery gotta pop up here. She discovers that Melanie is not baking anything from scratch. Her peach cobbler is actually a store-bought frozen peach cobbler. And Hannah, to make sure that she's not like, you know, being a little bit biased, maybe coming up with something in her head, she actually goes to the store, finds the peach cobbler, and then she tests it to see, wow, this is actually the same peach cobbler. So that makes her feel a little bit better, but at the same time, it's like, how in the world are you going to open up your own bakery and you're not baking anything, nothing from scratch? Nothing that comes out of this bakery is homemade. All of it is other people's recipes. It is crazy that somebody had the guts, the nerve of Melanie here to do this. And so Hannah wasn't even planning on calling her out on it, but she ends up going across the street to the bakery, her and her sister and family and different things. And her sister, pregnant, emotional, we're gonna put it on that, okay? We're gonna put it on that, Andrea. All right, I ain't gonna do you like that, girl. I ain't gonna throw you on the bus like that. I'm just gonna say that yes, because you're pregnant, maybe it's the emotions and all of that, the unbalanced hormones all over the place, that you brought it up and you told Melanie that your sister like said this is a store-bought peach cobbler. And of course Melanie is caught off guard. She starts to freak out. She's totally embarrassed and ashamed in front of all of these people that someone would have the nerve to say this. I mean, you can pull me aside privately and ask me about it, but no, you say it in front of everybody. And of course Hannah is kind of shocked that her sister like says it. At the same time, I know she doesn't hold nothing against her sister. I mean, Andrea and Hannah are like the best of friends, as well as being biological sisters here. So she calls her out and all of that. But on top of that, and the thing is with Melanie, I have to say, I don't know where she gets off with all of this stuff, but even to think that you even thought, well, even to think that you thought that you had a chance with Detective Kingston, that you were just gonna move your little self in here in this town and totally like steal him away from Hannah, even though he's not technically Hannah's and he doesn't really belong to Hannah like that. But how did you even think that you could even do that? Not with me here, okay? Not you think I'm gonna stand by and let you do this, girl? You crazy. But I'm loving the whole thing all the same. So anyway, so like I said, both bakeries were invited to the wedding to bring their baked goods. However, Hannah's the only one that showed up, and it starts to be a little bit of a mystery. Like, where is Melanie? Because Hannah ended up helping her bake a homemade like peach cobbler from scratch, just to kind of save face here, so she doesn't feel as ashamed and embarrassed and all of that. So she does end up helping her right before the wedding. So she was kind of surprised that Melanie didn't show up. So after the wedding and the reception and all of that is over, Hannah noticed that the light she's supposed to be going back to her own bakery, the cookie jar, but she noticed across the street that the lights at the Magnolia Bakery is still on, which is a bit strange because it's late in the night and it doesn't make sense. On top of Melody didn't show up to the wedding, and so she goes there and, you know, first she's calling as she's walking up to Melanie's bakery, letting her know, hey, the lights are on. I just want to check and see if you're okay. And she walks in because she knows the door is open. And then what does she stumble into? Y'all take a guess here. I know y'all can do this. Yes, a body, girl. Melanie is laid out on the floor in front of the oven. The peach cobblers that they worked on earlier, like 2 of them are still in the oven. One is like crashed on the floor. So it's clear to Hannah like somebody actually took her out while she's pulling the peach cobblers out of the oven. And of course, Hannah's like totally caught off guard. She's feeling all sad, distraught, and couldn't even understand, like, I was just with this lady hours ago. How could someone do this? Someone who's simply baking, and you take somebody out baking? It's like, how cruel can you be here, you know? And so I get her. So while she's like feeling around, making sure, you know, Melanie is actually officially gone, Detective Kingston rolls up and pulls in, and he's like, Hannah, what happened here? So Hannah's totally looking kind of guilty. Of course, Detective Kingston his mind knows that Hannah did nothing wrong here. In his mind, she's not a suspect, but how it's looking. And the more they start to dig into things, finding the weapon in her and Hannah's bakery, it is like really pointing to her. All the evidence are pointing to Hannah. And he even advises her, like, you may want to get a lawyer. And Hannah's like, I don't need a lawyer. I didn't do anything wrong. I'm perfectly innocent. And so Hannah is on the move of like clearing her name, and y'all know this is more of a motivation to Hannah than anything else. Y'all, she already like stuck her nose in different cases in the past dealing with other people. Now her reputation, her life, her freedom is on the line here. So you know Hannah is she's going all in here to save face, to save herself. And I don't blame her, even though Detective Kingston, because he kind of like bent the rules a little bit here, and his boss is like advises him to stay away from Hannah. So he has been encouraged to stay away from Hannah, and that is his like plan here. But in this film, he finds it harder than he actually thought to stay away from Hannah. And so it leaves Hannah kind of on her own, even though in the past what she would do is she came up with some evidence or like some theories, she would call him and ask him about it. But now that he's been told to stay away from her and she's kind of a little bit on her own here, she ends up trying to find all this evidence herself. And this girl, y'all, it is up a notch. We got like firearms here. In this film, we got Hannah like literally going head to toe with Melanie's sister, who has always been kind of a little bit like we're looking at her with a side eye, like how all of this stuff going down. The evidence and stuff to Hannah is pointing back to Melanie's sister, and we see how involved Melanie's sister really is undercover. And on top of that, Hannah's mom, Dolores, y'all, is dating this guy named Douglas, and she's happily over the moon in love. You can't tell baby girl here nothing, okay? She's all smiles, all cheeses, everything, all butterfly stomachs, all of that kind of stuff here. But evidence is pointing back that the guy that is dating Hannah's mom is connected to Melanie's sister and is involved in this whole thing that's been going down. It turns out that he's been a con man, that they both of them, Melanie's sister, have been working alongside Dolores, that's Hannah's mom, like boyfriend Douglas, and it turns out he's a con man. Douglas is not even his real name. It gets crazy here. And so Dolores is pulled into this, and it turns out that they're trying to frame her. Oh girl, it's just all over the place, and in a good way. It makes sense and everything. But I'm thinking about this one scene because y'all know I have to leave a little bit something to y'all mention. I know we go deep into all that kind of stuff. Y'all know that's what we gotta do, okay? I can't help myself. I gotta tell y'all. But anyway, so when they get to this one scene towards the end, y'all, when all the pieces are put together, all the evidence is laid out, and Hannah knows everything, and she pulls up to her mama boyfriend home. And she sees all of this stuff is going down between Melanie's sister and Douglas. Like, they laying out everything, all the plan of what happened, how they took Melanie out, all this kind of stuff. And Hannah is recording it, and then their whole plan was at some point they kind of set Hannah up because they know her, she's nosy, and she's gonna dig deep. And so it led Hannah back there, and they kind of expected Hannah to be led there, but they also expected Hannah's mom, Dolores, to be led back to his apartment, his townhome as well. And so does not happen on the door. Hannah, they don't see Hannah. Well, Douglas see Hannah. She is recording everything. She's like kind of hiding underneath the table, right? And listening to everything, getting all the evidence, getting everything recorded on her phone. That knock sounded on their door, and that's what broke it, y'all, because the girl was talking about, that's Dolores. That's Hannah's mom. We're going to frame her and about to take her out. Soon she come in that door, like she planning on taking her out. Hannah like, you finna take out my mama, not my mama. So when that sound, when that knock happened on that door, girl, the girl was like, okay, that's Dolores now. Like, get out of the way. Hannah jumps up. Hannah jumps up, tackles the girl. She's like, no, mom, no. I was like, girl, yes, fight for your mama, fight for your mama, okay? Even though it turned out not to be Hannah's mom, it was actually Detective Kingston and the whole police force, all right, finally figuring it out, okay? Hannah been there. Y'all supposed to been there before Hannah there. It just shows y'all need Hannah. Y'all might as well just hire her, okay? Y'all just might as well do that, even though I know she ain't got time to got a whole bakery and stuff. But I'm just saying, Hannah be helping y'all out, okay? She do. And so this back and forth thing, when you just see a sound like guns popping off, sounds everywhere. You just see that, and that just freaks Detective Mike out. He's kicking down the door trying to get in. He's like, Hannah. All the time you've been trying to stay away from her. You see Hannah in danger. Hannah on the side of that door. He about to knock that door off the hinges. Y'all is getting there to make sure Hannah all right. And then he gets in there. He see that Hannah is cool. He pulls the girls apart or whatever. That was like a highlight for me of this movie, because my heart was pounding. Y'all, I was in there. I was like in there. I was like, okay. I was like that. I was making sure, because I know. I was like, Hannah, girl, you be putting us through it. I'm glad that you solved the mystery. You cracked the case, everything. But girl, don't be taking me through all of that no more. Don't be doing that to me, okay? Got my heart all beat everywhere, everything, all that, like that. Okay. All right. We cool now. And so we get took down to everything. Detective Kingston, now that the case has been solved and he doesn't have to stay away from Hannah, he invites her out for dinner on Valentine's Day. And Hannah lets him know that it's Valentine's Day. Are you asking me to be your Valentine? And he was like, you could tell he's not really into that. He didn't think nothing about it. He was just thinking a simple dinner. And then Hannah noticed across the street, Norman, the dentist, is standing over there like watching, looking at her, almost with this sadness in her eyes, and it hits Hannah. It's like, there we go, here we go again, and this whole love triangle, like who are you gonna choose? And then it cuts to the scene like later on Valentine's evening. It shows who Hannah chose for her Valentine. Her mom and sister Andrea show up at her home, and it's just the girls hanging out, and that's how they ended Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh, that was so sweet. And Hannah did the right thing, because her mom just found out her boyfriend was a con artist and he done went to jail. And then Andrea shows up because her husband Bill is working. So it was so nice to see the girls, simple girls, hanging out on Valentine's Day, and they each other's Valentines. And so that's how it ended, y'all. I know I took y'all through quite a bit of something. Y'all know how I get when it comes to this stuff. But it was so much fun. It was an adventure trying to figure things out. And like I said, seeing how Hannah was getting down, that Hannah is tough, okay? She looks on the outside that she's just a sweet, adorable little baker, like she won't hurt no one. But it shows when her family's life is on the line, Hannah will put everything on the line to save her family, to make sure her family is safe. And I so love that, and I appreciate that. It just shows what a beautiful spirit she has. So that's how it ended. Once again, this film is titled Murder, She Baked, a Peach Cobbler Mystery, streaming right now on Hallmark Plus. But before I leave y'all for the day, let's go ahead and get into scripture. And we're coming out of Proverbs 22, verse 4. And it reads, by humility and the fear of the Lord are riches and honor in life. That's all I have for y'all for this video. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me. As always, please remember to leave y'all thoughts, your prayers, your overall take in the comment section below. And until next time, may the Lord bless and keep you both now and forevermore.